I got to play on a VR treadmill that seems to have come straight out of Ready Player One, the kind of tech you'd expect to only exist in sci-fi movies until now. It lets you walk through your favorite video games and explore them with literally no boundaries. Every step you take in real life is mirrored in the virtual one, which makes movement feel more natural than using a controller. It's not perfect, but it does give a better sense of physically being inside the game. You get to experience what it's like to sprint, crouch, kneel, jump, strafe, and back up in full 360. The system you see here is called Omni One and was invented by this guy, Jan Goodluck, who has been active in the VR space for over a decade. His very first prototype was built in a small garage in Houston, where he experimented tirelessly to refine the ideal formula for VR locomotion. In 2013, Jan showed off his invention on Shark Tank, a TV show where entrepreneurs pitch their ideas to investors, and yeah, let's just say the pitch didn't go as planned.
If my husband brought this into my house, I would divorce him immediately.
Despite the fairly negative reactions, he did not give up. Today, his company VRChat is in a league of its own, valued at over $250 million, officially listed on Nasdaq, and their treadmills were even used as a concept for the movie Ready Player One. Skepticism here and there on the effectiveness of these treadmills still remains, but this is mainly caused by other brands who are not building the right system and giving people the wrong idea of what these devices are actually capable of when they're properly designed and used. But more on that later. VRChat has proven that the products they sell aren't a gimmick, serving a wide range of sectors including gaming, military, education, healthcare, and real estate. They've successfully created a complete system that makes virtual movement and fitness go hand in hand, turning that Ready Player One fiction into reality. There are already loads of people using an Omni on a daily basis, with, for example, the goal of losing weight to simply wanting to dive deeper into the only true metaverse. There is something magical about walking through a portal and ending up in a totally different world. Jan recently invited me back to Austin, Texas to try their latest version, which they completely fine-tuned, and was curious to hear my thoughts on the current state of Omni One, so here we go. So the first time I stepped onto it was a few years ago. It only seemed to work exclusively with Pico and ran a modest library of third-party games, from classics like Arizona Sunshine to Breachers. While I was skeptical at first, I ultimately left Austin impressed by the performance of this treadmill. However, the fact that you couldn't choose which headset and games to use was, in my opinion, a bit disappointing. VRChat appeared to have taken my feedback to heart, as not long ago they joined the Made for Meta program. This means their treadmills will have official MetaQuest support and be sold on Meta's website, with the first mobile games expected to arrive on Omni One this summer.
The Three Broomsticks is the place for butterbeer. I could not choose a favorite shop here.
Now, what's even more exciting, and why I came to Texas in the first place, is that they've been hard at work optimizing the treadmill's capability to run PC VR experiences. These days, you can hook it up to pretty much any headset, like the MetaQuest or Steam Frame, making the Omni One far more interesting to a wide spectrum of gamers. That said, the setup did not change much. It's worth mentioning that it's very easy to assemble, as it's a pre-built that comes in a few parts that simply slide into each other without the need for any screws or tools. It takes about 10 minutes to put together and has wheels underneath the base that allow you to move it around. What's cool too is that it features a small frunk for storage, like cables or shoes. And while talking about shoes, you need to wear these low friction soles. They come in different sizes and feature small trackers that measure your movements. I was told they last for about 20 hours and can be fully charged in less than 3. Worth mentioning is that outside of the VR realm, you can spawn an anti-slip mechanism that you flip over to walk safely around the house. Nice! When you step onto the base, you strap yourself into a harness that fits like a backpack. The cushions themselves cover your shoulders and lower back and are secured at the front with a large sports band. Size-wise, it measures 48 inches wide, 60 inches deep, and 48 inches tall. Even though the footprint is manageable, you'll still need enough free space to easily step in and out of the system. It can be adjusted for users ranging from 4'4" to 6'4". The arm also has a knob that lets you dial in the resistance with a maximum user weight of 250 pounds. It features holsters on the sides for the controllers and a button that locks or unlocks the treadmill. VRCH's system works wirelessly via a small USB-C dongle with all signals routed through Omni Connect, a custom PC app that reads your movements and translates them into controller input. VRCH has also created pre-tuned profiles for each game, matching locomotion speed so you don't have to adjust anything yourself. Having tried titles like Half-Life Alyx and VRChat, I can say the Omni One is able to match the speeds of the experiences quite well, making it easy to go from a still position to walking, and the same story goes for stopping. Of course, taking the stairs feels a bit funky, and the same goes for jumping off a ledge, but in general, the treadmill reacts very well to PC VR games. There's barely any latency, and movement feels direct. In combination with a PC that runs these titles at a high frame rate, you got yourself a killer setup. That doesn't take away that I personally find it difficult to make my way through small corridors and feel that Omni One shines most in experiences that have large surfaces.
Our light, that must shine upon Hyrule once again.
While I found that most treadmills, such as Cat VR, have a steep learning curve, the Omni One takes me about 15 minutes to get warmed up on. I still think VRCH's decade of expertise in location-based arcades is the reason why their systems feel so consumer-friendly. What plays a key role as well, of course, is the arm in combination with the right amount of resistance. Reaching almost to the middle of the base, it gives you room to move in a more upright position while walking and sprinting. Other brand treadmills often have you lean too far forward, resulting into a bent posture and giving the feeling that you are just dragging a heavy treadmill along with you. I mean, don't get me wrong, it still doesn't feel exactly like walking on the streets, but it does feel efficient and fun enough to make it work in-game, and most importantly, it's a good workout. As your legs are physically moving, it can help reduce motion sickness compared to standard stick locomotion, though that may vary from person to person. In terms of noise, it's quieter than you might expect, but you still hear the sliding motion of the overshoes against the base. It's not loud enough to be a deal breaker, but if you live in an apartment or share walls, it's something worth keeping in mind. The build quality remains one of the best out there. It doesn't feel like it's going to fall apart when you start going full mayhem, while at the same time being flexible enough to make you quickly crouch to interact with the world around you. So to wrap this video up, when it comes to price, the core version of Omni One sits at $2,595 US. If you want a complete bundle with headset, you pay $3,495. That is without a doubt a serious amount of money, and definitely not an impulse buy, putting it firmly into enthusiast territory. Realistically, this won't be affordable for everyone. In my opinion, casual VR players won't need something like this anyway, but for fitness nuts and hardcore users who spend a lot of their free time in games like VRChat, it makes much more sense. There are plenty of places you can actually experience Omni One, and on their website you can even book a free demo if interested. Overall, the Omni One still feels like one of the closest things to that Ready Player One vibe. You can find more information on VRCHX.com or simply go to the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.